Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever walked past a majestic architectural facade or, stood on a beautifully designed outdoor patio and just wondered what exactly gives it that timeless, deeply grounded feel? Well, today we're embarking on a bit of a journey together to uncover the story behind a true classic, Australian sandstone. It's absolutely fascinating how a single naturally occurring material can literally come to define the entire architectural identity of a major global city while simultaneously finding its way into the most intimate, modern backyard retreats. We're going to explore exactly why this material has captivated architects and homeowners alike, and we'll break down the science, the history, and the practical realities.
250 million. Now, that is not a sales figure, and it's definitely not a population stat. That's the number of years this material has been forming right under the Earth's surface. Just think about that for a second. Long before human history even began, grains of sand were continuously deposited by ancient rivers and oceans. Over millions of years, immense geological pressure compressed those grains, fusing them together layer by microscopic layer to create this incredibly dense, character-rich rock. When you choose Australian sandstone, you aren't just picking some fleeting trend out of a catalog. You're literally incorporating 250 million years of geological history into your living space. It brings an unmatched, deep-rooted legacy that manufactured materials just simply cannot replicate.
Okay, let's dive into this. There's a sentiment floating around that captures this reality perfectly. More than just a building material, it is the bedrock of Sydney's architectural identity. And honestly, that's no exaggeration. If you take a stroll through the city, you see it absolutely everywhere. You can trace its golden presence from the grand, intricate, and deeply historic facades of the Sydney Town Hall all the way out to those sleek, minimalist, contemporary coastal retreats dotting the shoreline. It bridges the gap between classic heritage and modern luxury in a way very, very few materials can, seamlessly grounding sharp modern architecture with an earthy, historical weight.
So to understand exactly why it's so popular, here is our roadmap. 1. The bedrock of Sydney. 2. Sandstone versus the competition. 3. Versatile spaces and applications. 4. Installation and long-term care. And finally, 5. Sustainable sourcing and supply.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the bedrock of Sydney, a natural legacy.
We're talking about premium sandstone sourced directly from local New South Wales quarries. Imagine stepping out into your outdoor living area and just being greeted by these incredibly warm golden hues. But, it's not just about the color, it's very much about the touch. The rich, tactile texture of natural sandstone has this subtle, earthy grit that just feels incredibly grounding under your feet or against your hand. It's an organic elegance that completely shifts the energy of a room. It actually takes what might be an ordinary indoor space or a basic backyard patio and elevates it into a true sanctuary. It engages the human senses, sight, touch, even the subtle way it interacts with natural light, in a way that poured concrete or mass-produced ceramics simply can't touch.
And this brilliantly illustrates one of its greatest hidden superpowers: thermal mass. In building physics, thermal mass is basically the ability of a material to absorb, store, and then release heat energy. But why does a rock do this so well? Well, because sandstone is incredibly dense, it takes a long time for heat to penetrate it, and an equally long time for that heat to escape. Why does this matter to you? In a fluctuating climate like Sydney's, this stone is actually working for you passively. It stays remarkably cool underfoot during the intense, punishing summer sun, yet it retains and gently radiates warmth when the evening temperature drops. Synthetic alternatives just do not have this natural structural capability to regulate temperature.
Moving right along to Section 2, Sandstone versus the competition, the technical matchup.
So let's see how Sydney sandstone actually stacks up structurally against things like granite and porcelain. Looking at durability, sandstone boasts up to 70 megapascals of compressive strength. What does that actually mean in plain English? It means a single square inch of this stone can withstand an immense amount of heavy structural weight and crushing pressure without cracking or failing. Aesthetically speaking, porcelain is relying on uniform, printed designs, whereas sandstone gives you 100% unique, natural veining. Literally no two pieces are identical. But the real practical difference shows up in thermal feel and slip resistance. Granite can get blisteringly hot in the direct sun, practically burning your bare feet. Sandstone, on the other hand, gives you excellent natural grip and stays super comfortable. Yes, it does require periodic sealing, but the trade-off for that authentic beauty and barefoot comfort, it's massive.
Which brings us to Section 3, versatile spaces and applications, transforming your property.
The design flexibility here is just astounding.
Depending on your personal aesthetic, you can choose from a huge variety of finishes. You might opt for a split-faced finish, which means leaving the raw, jagged edge of the stone intact to create a beautifully rustic, highly textured look. Or, actually scratch that, if you want something sleeker, you could go to the opposite end of the spectrum with a sawn finish, where the stone is precision cut to give you a clean, minimalist 90-degree angle for modern tiles. You can even use thin-cut slabs for textural wall cladding. This adds incredible visual depth and natural insulation without the massive structural weight of traditional stone blocks. It's heavily utilized in commercial spaces too. Sophisticated gray sandstone options are super sought after for creating striking high-end bathrooms and really modern urban hallways.
But the absolute crucial point is how this plays out in demanding environments, right? Like the edge of your pool. Picture yourself there in the peak of a blistering Sydney summer. Safety and style have to go hand in hand. Interestingly enough, artificial concrete pavers can sometimes reach temperatures exceeding 60 degrees Celsius in direct sun, literally hot enough to cause burns. Sandstone, because it's naturally slip-resistant and thermally regulating, avoids this entirely. Available in soft, rounded bullnose finishes for pool edges, it guarantees that you and your guests remain secure and entirely comfortable walking barefoot, no matter how relentlessly that sun beats down.
All right, let's get into the practical side with Section 4, Installation and Long-Term Care, Practical Ownership.
Now you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds amazing, but is a 250 million-year-old premium material going to be a total nightmare to maintain? Not at all. Practical ownership is highly manageable if you follow a simple routine. Let's see how this builds. Achieving a professional finish that lasts decades starts with step 1, laying a leveled base with a quality mortar or sand bed. Once installed, the second step is to seal the stone every 1 to 2 years to lock in those vibrant colors and protect the pores against salt and moisture. The third step is absolutely critical. When you clean it, you must use only pH-neutral solutions. Because sandstone is a natural mineral, highly acidic or highly alkaline household cleaners can literally eat away at the stone's composition over time. They break down the natural binders holding the sand grains together, which can cause it to erode, flake, or dramatically discolor. So stick to gentle, neutral cleaners and your investment is thoroughly protected.
Finally, Section 5, Sustainable Sourcing and Supply, the bigger picture.
The environmental benefits of choosing natural sandstone are honestly substantial. For one, it's naturally hypoallergenic. Unlike synthetic carpets or porous composite materials, it doesn't harbor dust mites, pet dander, or trap unwanted moisture. It's fire-resistant, and importantly, it is 100% recyclable. But perhaps the most impactful point is the sourcing itself. Companies like Hunter Pavers source their premium-grade supplies right from local New South Wales quarries, such as those in Maroota. Just think about the difference in carbon emissions here. Buying locally means your stone takes a short truck ride down the highway, compared to importing heavy, synthetic ceramic tiles that have to be shipped on massive fossil fuel-burning cargo freighters all the way across the ocean.
When you weigh out these options, the decision becomes incredibly clear. Consider the manufactured reality of synthetic alternatives. They offer uniform, machine-printed designs. They lack any natural thermal comfort, and they carry a massive environmental footprint from global shipping. Contrast that with a 100% recyclable, natural thermal regulator sourced right from your own backyard. Natural Australian sandstone literally connects your home to the local architectural heritage of the region, carrying the Earth's history right into your living space. It truly is the superior long-term choice for anyone who values authenticity, performance, and environmental responsibility.
And that brings us to the end of our exploration today. You've seen the structural data, you understand the environmental impact, and you know the deep heritage. This is a material with a legacy 250 million years in the making. So the only question left for you is, do you want to build your next project with something temporary, or do you want to build with something that carries the literal weight of geological history? How will you transform your own space with the soul of Sydney? Will it be a sleek modern hallway, a rugged outdoor fire pit, or an elegant pool surround? The possibilities are as enduring as the stone itself. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay curious, keep exploring, and I'll see you on the next explainer.